What's going on, everybody? It's a Godlike Friday, and it's good to see everybody in the panel and in the chat. We have a very special guest, as promised, everybody. John from Queen Studios and Enart has made it to the Godlike panel. John, how you doing? Thanks for coming on with us. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, all good. How are you guys?
Doing well, doing well. It's good to see you, man.
Great.
Before we get started, John, I did want to say one thing. I noticed that Queen Studios, when somebody makes a comment on the Queen Studio page, Queen Studios always addresses every single person, and they always, want to get back to them, and they're actually concerned of, what they're asking. They want to have a good answer for them. So I know the community really appreciates that. So I did want to point that out this evening. So thanks for doing that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries. I think it's important because if you're commenting, you don't want to have it left there because otherwise, what's the point in commenting? So we make sure that we read through, take everyone seriously, unless it's something crazy, and then get back to you.
Yeah, exactly. I know the community is always excited to see new pieces from Queen Studios, along with. I know you've got new pieces coming out, and we'll talk a little bit about that, or what you can talk about, but we'll address just a few things. But I guess I'll kick it off, and we're going to go from the panel to also to the to the chat. We did want to keep it at 1 hour, John. We don't want to keep it too long. Okay, but I guess the first question is this: is there an update on the 1-to-1 Neo that you guys were working on, and is there any plans to do maybe a 1/3 line for the Matrix series? I thought the Neo would look great in my theater room, and I was just wondering if that was ever going to be made.
Yeah, I don't think it's so. Everything's done, as you guys have seen. I think it's maybe 2 years ago now, or coming up to 3 years since we revealed that 1-to-1. So everything's done. It's just that we haven't gone ahead with it yet for whatever reason. It's not in the plans for this year. But I think towards the end of the year, we're going to look at more Matrix stuff for different scales. I've not got the final plans in front of me, and I'm not sure when. But it's something that we do want to do, and it's something we've been working on behind the scenes. But as you guys know, the statue market slowed down a little bit, so we're just taking our time working on things, making sure quality is top notch.
Right. No, man, I'm excited now. I really want to see, Matrix 1/3 scale. That would be amazing. I know the community would really, buy into that. I know a lot of people have asked for that, but to see Neo, Morpheus, all these characters together, maybe even a Sentinel would be pretty awesome by Queen Studios. So, take note on that. So that'd be great to see that.
Will do.
That'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be amazing, actually. Also, I did want to ask, right now with the Iron Man line, is there any plans to do? I know we have Avengers coming. Like, I think that was already teased, but is there any plans to do maybe a 1/3 like Iron Man scale, like army, like you did the 1/4? And is there any go forward with that?
Yeah, we released a 1/3 Mark 7, I think, towards the end of last year. And then we have some more third scale on the way. The next one, I'd say, is maybe 1 or 2 weeks away.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so look out for a teaser. So it's third scale, and we'll be looking at silicone as well. So it's going to be hyper real, something new for the scale.
Okay, I'm just stunned. Okay, man. All right, that's awesome, man. Well, guys, you heard it here. Godlike Statues. John's just announcing that they're going to have a new Iron Man with silicone coming out very soon. So,
that's not Iron Man. It's not Iron Man. One, just the third scale from the.
Just third
Avengers.
scale. Okay, just third scale. Not
yeah,
Iron
yeah,
Man.
yeah,
Iron Man.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but one of the Avengers line, I'm assuming. So, I look forward to that. That's going to be something great.
Yeah.
And John, do you plan on releasing all the Avengers this year, or is it just one? Or
I think the plans right now is 3. So we released the Mark 7 towards the end of last year, and then we've got 3 more planned for this year. That's what we're aiming for.
Okay, man, that's great. That's awesome. Wow, pretty exciting stuff. I definitely want to see all the new Avengers come out by Queen Studios. I know they're going to do a great job with that, so I'm looking forward to that. Alan, what do you have for John this evening?
Well, first of all, I want to thank John for joining us tonight.
Yes.
That's really awesome to have you here. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of a serious question. I got more interesting, fun one. But, just curious, will the production batches like be increased in size at any point, like to reduce the time that it takes to get to the distributors?
For statues, right?
Yes.
It's hard to say because it depends on the statue, the material, things like that. Just because quality control is the biggest issue, because a lot of the statues are hand finished, and especially with silicone, you've got to punch the hair, you've got to add the glass eyes, everything like that. So it's just time consuming there, and then we've got to go for a round of QC. We had a few issues the year before last with the Venom bust and the Carnage where it cracked in the jaw. So the reason why things slow down a little bit is just to make sure we don't have those problems. So it's really difficult to say which ones will be faster than others, but manufacturing is the area we want to focus on most to make sure the final end statue is of the quality you guys expect, but also it's coming out as quick as you need it as well. So it's one of those things it's unpredictable, but we're working hard on that.
I'm just I'm really anxious to get my life-size alien bust. So that's like part of the question, you know.
Yeah, the alien's done. So there's also issues with right now is not just entirely with us. So alien's done and ready. The biggest issues right now is with the shipping. Like there's been troubles in the Red Sea with the Houthi rebels and all that kind of stuff. That's affected global shipping, like especially to Europe, maybe not USA, but it affects shipping in general, pushes costs up, and then also the market's dipped. So some of our partners, they've ordered from us, and to be able to make it cost effective for them, they have to collect all the orders and then ship everything over. But if people are slow to pay, then they don't always get things in time. So that can cause delays as well. So it's not always on our side. It's just multiple factors affecting.
Okay. Thanks for explaining that. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it's for a lot of people, it's difficult to understand, but because we're in such a smaller industry and the price per item is very high, it's not always easy for companies just to ship it over. And they've got to wait to get the capital in to get things moving. And then the cost of shipping can go right up 1 month and drop the next. So I think things will start moving now Chinese New Year is over.
Also, that's not like just your guys' problem. That's every company's having those issues too, like you just explained. So it's I know it's tough, obviously, you know, so many variabilities.
Yeah, that's industry wide. That's not just us, but we sometimes we're slower than others. But in this situation, it's just the global economy and everything else affecting us.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay, good.
All right, Marcos, what do you got for us?
Yeah, as you can tell, you know, I'm a pretty big Deadpool fan right here. So I know you guys have the Marvel license, and I know Fox merged with Disney. So is there any plans for any scale, hopefully 1/3, 1/2, or 1:1 life size for a Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds, in any scale, and also Wolverine with Hugh Jackman?
We're in negotiations right now. We're trying to get that contract done. We're hoping so, but I can't say for definite. But Deadpool's really popular over here because it's like different to the other Marvel movies. Yeah. And we're glad it's with Disney now, so we can actually get the license. But just because it's a new property, it just takes a bit of time. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, we get Deadpool.
So if you do get it, what would be like? Would you got like? What line would you like? Because I know there's a new 1/3 Avengers line. Would you try to do maybe match it with the 1/3 line or the 1/2 scale line that you guys have done like behind Jimmy? Or I know you guys done a lot of 1:1 life size too. So
if we did it, it'd be most likely 1:1 statues, busts, and either 3rd or 4th scale. Half scale is popular with a certain group, but due to the size, the weight, and everything, the half scale is just a little bit more smaller market, just because
it's a niche market.
The cost. Yeah. So we do it in 3rd or 4th, most likely.
3rd or 4th, and you said maybe life size busts and stuff like that.
And 1:1, 1:1 statue.
Nice. Wow. That's all I wanted to hear right there. There we go.
That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. So Freddie, what do you have for John?
Yes. I also want to say, John, thank you for coming on the show. Appreciate it. Nice meeting you and talking to you. I have a lot of questions, but
Yep.
in particular, I also want to say you guys are, I love your guys' work. As you can see, I have the statues behind me. That's like my best Joker that I own and that I love. As it comes to in art with your figures, I have the Superman on order. That looks great, by the way, from what I see with the proto. What's the chances of us completing that BvS Trinity, like Gal, Wonder Woman, Batfleck? Any chances of that happening soon at all?
Yeah, one of those would be on the way, but I can't give a date right now because again, with anything where it's got actor likeness, you've got to go through approvals, that kind of thing, and then for us, we've got to look at what's on the market right now, and then think about how can we improve on it and give you guys the value that you want. For example, if it's going to be $350 to $500 per figure, like when it converts, you want to make sure that you're getting something high quality. So that's what takes a little bit of time. So hopefully this year we'll have probably around 8 to 10 pre-orders, and then ship what we made last year as well. So what we sold last year. So that's our goal, and hopefully the BvS line will be in there. I know it's in our line list, and we're working on it, but I can't give you any dates.
Okay, good. As long as I know it's getting done, because I would love to complete that and have those three together. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, one more, Freddie.
Oh, yeah, two at a time. Let's see. Yeah, so I know during your you've teased a couple of things for your upcoming pre-orders. That Christopher Reeves 2-pack, right? Is that one of your pre-orders happening this year, or is it further down the line? I don't know if you could.
I don't know that again. The dates, we teased a lot of stuff at Wonder Festival last year.
Yeah.
And it's a good chance for us to get some feedback from collectors. And we might do that less in the future, but I think while we're starting out and we don't have as many things to show, it's a good way for us to get feedback. There's a lot to work on Christopher Reeve in particular. So it's definitely something we're actively working on, but I don't know the time frame again because there's so many different. The whole process can take months and months and months. So it's really difficult to say this is exactly when. Ideally, it'd be this year, but if it's not this year, it could be Q1 of next year.
Okay, got you. Because there's another statue company doing a 1/3, but we don't all do 1/3 and at that price point. So somebody like me who also collects 1/6, to have that, in my collection and not have to go that high in scale or price, that would be terrific because there is a need, I'd say, out there for Christopher Reeves and his Superman, and I think collectors will eat that up. So that's good to know.
Yeah, that one in particular, I think that's one we're working hard on because we know that it's like the iconic classic. So we need to make sure that it's nothing but the best, which we do for every figure. But there's certain ones where people they put it on like a pedestal, like this is only the original. So
this is the one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, man, I hate to steal a turn from the chat, but John, I think that the Terminator bust that's being done is probably the best likeness of Arnold I've ever seen. And I've been enabled by the panel to get this, so I am getting it.
Me too.
Yeah, we're 3 of us on here getting it. 3 of us.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
So, and I'm building a special case for it, but I'm wondering, John, should I save a spot for an Endo bust to go with him by Queen Studios?
I'm trying to think. We are looking at the Terminator licenses again, because we want to renew, but I can't remember which ones, and I can't say too soon because like when contracts are in negotiation, they've got to be kept quiet. But I know that we're renewing, so there will be more Terminator in the future. It's something we are negotiating right now. So hopefully, once that's signed on the dotted line, we can give you guys a heads up. But for now, just that one Arnold for the for the next year at least. It's going to take some time before we develop the next one once the contract's signed.
Yeah, and Queen Studios does a great job to inform collectors of dates and when things are launching. That way they can plan out their collection because let's be real, like these pieces are huge and they're very expensive, right? We have to, make our finances work with some of these pieces coming in, but I know a lot of collectors really appreciate that. And I know when they post that, it's shared all over the place because now they can kind of plan their collection out a little bit better. And they can see that what's coming in, so that is also appreciated.
And to tie into that, is the animatronics Arnold close or still working on that?
So that one, it's something that we're still working on. I think that could be next, to be honest. So we'd need to, but I don't think it's going to be this year. So the animatronics for us working fine. But because of it's something quite very new and innovative, it has to take a bit more time to go through certain loopholes. So we'll get there. But I think some images have been leaked, and I've seen the real thing. It looks incredible. So that one, when it goes, will be one of the best. I'm sure.
You heard that, Jimmy.
Yeah, man. John, is that in the Queen office? Have you seen that in there, or is it somewhere else you saw it?
Yeah, it's somewhere else.
Okay.
I think, I saw it. We did bring it to a event in Shanghai, actually, where we met some investors from the Middle East, and we showed it there. So that's where I saw it, but it wasn't in the office for very long.
Okay, understood. Okay. For anything, we can take the chat next. I know a lot of people are excited and have questions for John also. You bring one up here quick. Let me see. We got a lot. Oh, here we go. Here's Lane. Lane was asking about the Black Adam on Throne piece, John. Is that something that's still being done, or how far away is that out?
Yeah, someone asked me about this yesterday.
Okay.
April should be the time where we're expecting to start shipping.
Nice.
Okay.
Yes, it's not far away.
There you go, Lane. I know you really wanted to. He was really excited about that piece, and he really wanted to see when that was coming out. So I know you get this a lot, John. But any plans on getting the Star Wars license doing in 1/3 for Star Wars?
Yeah, this question comes up every time, and for the last 5 or 6 years, it's something that we're pushing for. But it's one of the oldest licenses out there, and they've got existing partners. So usually, if there's an existing partner, they don't usually like to give the license to someone else. So unless anything changes, it's something we ask every year. I'm hoping we'll have good news, but I don't know. It's hard to say.
Understood. Jojo was asking, is there any other Transformers pieces coming out soon?
Not soon, but it's something that we want to. If we do Transformers and release more, we want to do global license, so we can work direct and have more distribution, US and Europe. So once we get the go ahead for that, then we can come out with some more. But for right now, there's none in the immediate timeline.
How does that work, John? Like, for some pieces, you have like U.S., European license, and China, obviously, or Asia, and then some you just don't. Like how does the contract stuff work on that? Because for me, on the outside, it just seems weird that you can have some pieces like that and some like you don't.
Yeah, it's just licensing. That's the side of the business which is the more like challenging. Like, of course, it's challenging to make everything and design. Sure. That bit. Yeah. But then when it comes to licensing, we want to do something. We want to create something because we're interested in it. And then we go to a license and they'll say, oh, we've got a partner in that scale in this region. So unless it's a region where they don't have a partner, it's not easy to go to. The US, because it's the more mature market, just where all the culture comes from, it's also got a long history of partnerships, so it's very difficult to get into the US in particular, unless we can find like a smaller classic movie like Terminator where it's available, and it's just a case of being at the right place at the right time. But it's hard for us because we want to make everything available global. But it just depends on the licensor, and it's just there's all variables again.
Okay. Big Silva was asking too. Is there an update on the 1-to-1 the Bell bus? Because I'm buying that too.
Okay.
I'm buying that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Awesome, thanks, guys.
And he's also asking about the 1-to-1, the 1-to-1 bail too, not like the whole.
Oh, both. Okay, so the 1-to-1 and.
Yeah, so we pre-ordered that at the beginning of October. So I think there's no real updates right now, but we should, as far as I know, we should be on time with that. The biggest challenge is the armory. That one's going to be the hardest, but the order quantity is smaller for that, and we're looking forward to seeing that in people's collections because that's pretty cool. But yeah, no news on that just yet. It's quite early still.
Sure.
But we'll share updates as and when we get them.
And John, that's a really expensive piece, right? With the armory and everything together. Are those made by order, or are there extra being made, or I mean, how does that actually work?
It's made to order just because it weighs like a metric ton. So shipping alone is going to be because it's solid metal and steel in parts, so it's really, really heavy. So basically, you need to make sure that you've got like a flat surface that can hold the weight as well. So it's going to be very, very niche, that one. And the reason why we do it is just because if you can, why not? Like if people can afford it as well, and they want that big spectacle, that big piece, maybe for a shop, a store, an office, it'll look cool. So I think it's mostly commercial that will be ordering that.
Right. I mean, just an amazing piece. I really have to have that bell bus because the likeness is just incredible. Like, it's just amazing what you guys did with that piece. So I know a lot of collectors are really excited for that. And, when you guys have an idea, like you come through and like, hey, we really want to do this. Is there just a big round table? You guys talk about it, or do you wait for community feedback, or how does this plan? How do you develop the plan and then go forward with the idea? Yeah,
usually it's different every time. There's certain things that our art director wants to do. For example, he's a massive fan of Alien, so he's got like Alien tattoo on his arm. He's got like all of the other companies' Alien statues and busts in his house, and he's a big fan of Geiger. And with Terminator, that's our CEO's favorite, so he wants that. Then when it comes to other things, that's where we run the polls. Like we'll ask people, do surveys. We'll try to get some feedback from the community. And then we'll go out, look at that survey list, and then basically make a short list, go to the companies and see what's available. So that's usually how we do it. But it's different for each one.
Well, it was cool too with the armory you just talked about, that it's made of metal and like, stuff like that. It's high quality, obviously. I knew some people when it showed up, they were thinking, oh, this might be like a cheap material. So it's actually really cool that you said you have to have like a really sturdy base to hold that up. So that's really cool.
Yeah, it's like the 1-to-1 Hulkbuster we did a few years ago. That again, you need to make sure that you've got a solid base to support the weight.
That thing is nuts.
Yeah. As much as I have the 1/4 scale and I love it, but I just can't justify how big it is. Where would I put it at? Where would I put it at? So
that one is particularly crazy.
Yeah, and is that also, since it's so large? Is that also made to order as well? Because it's really big.
Made to order at the time. So we got the pre-orders in. Some people would place the order, and then they just wouldn't come through with the money because maybe the wife found out, or there's second thoughts. There's nowhere to put it. But we did have a substantial, like I think less than 20, but we've had quite a few orders and we've shipped some already. But it is made to order.
More than 5 is impressive. I would just say that because that thing is crazy.
20 orders is good because that was a very expensive piece, and but it's pretty spectacular, right? I mean, what more do you need to have a wow factor in your at your place is to have that? I mean, that says it all, I think.
Yeah,
it's a great piece. Here's an interesting one. Is there any plans to do Guardians of the Galaxy at all?
Not yet. It's one that I've asked about before. I've hoped we've done Star-Lord. We've done prototypes for Groot before, but we've not released anything, of course. And it doesn't look like we'll have anything this year or next year, but I personally would have liked us to do something, but we haven't yet.
Star-Lord would be cool too. I like that. That would be a good one.
If I could, quick question.
Yeah.
Getting back to Alien, I'm
Yeah.
a huge Alien fan, and I have your piece coming in. Any other Alien pieces in the works? Like, I would specifically love to see a 1/3 or even a life-size Ripley bust, silicone, punched hair, glass eyes, anything, maybe?
That's one of the, so since Fox was bought out by Disney, it's one of those that we're going for. And so Deadpool, Alien, that's when we renew our contract. That's what we're working on right now. It's just a case of going through those contract negotiations. We want to make sure we get global license so that we can distribute more widely, because we know Alien's really popular globally. And I think if we did something with Alien, we'd want to do something with the museum as well. So we've reached out to those guys. So it's something we've got plans for. We've got a line list and we've got all the concepts, but nothing yet. Just basically waiting on contracts.
Oh, that sounds exciting. How about Predator?
Predator's the same, yeah, because it's under the same.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just got to wait, essentially. I'm hoping in the next month or two we should know. So I'm hoping it gets done.
If you do, I'm going to start selling pieces to make room in my collection.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll let you know in advance.
Yeah.
John, I've heard so many people say, and this is, around the community, talk about how no company has tackled, and I'm sure there's a licensing issue, but to get, Predator Dutch in a 1/3 scale, or even a bust, something with Arnold Schwarzenegger as Dutch from the Predator. No one's done that, and everybody wants it, but no one's done it. But like I said, I'm sure it's a licensing issue. Is there any plans or talk to do that, or is it the same boat as the Aliens Predator?
That's not in our line list, and I don't know why. But
I don't know
if
why.
if we were to do it, it depends on Arnold and his rights. For example, Terminator, his likeness rights are separate to the Terminator contract, so you have to go directly to his company to get that done. I'm not sure about Terminator. Predator. It depends on what he's negotiated there. So it's something I'll ask about, but I have no idea why no one's done it. It should be possible because there's lots of Arnold stuff. I think someone's released a Conan recently, right?
Right.
Yeah.
PCS.
Yeah, PCS. So it should be possible. I'm not sure why it's not been done.
Yeah, because it's mind-boggling to me too. I'm like, everybody's doing everything Arnold, and I'm like, that's the one thing. There's so many Predator pieces out there, and
But
no
not
one
that.
has thought to do Dutch. And there's at least 3 different versions of Dutch you can do, 2 to 3, from that Predator movie. Muddy Dutch, him in his tactical gear, but it's just no one. I'm like, I don't know why people would buy it.
I will say this might be naive in me saying it, but I know people that we talk to, they say, like, I know the license might be expensive for that Dutch with Arnold, but like you said, there's a lot of Arnold pieces in general, but I think people would pay a premium for that Dutch.
Yes.
Like, even if it's a higher price, I think a lot of companies are scared to do it because, the license price might be heavy, so the price of the statue might be heavy, or high, my bad. But I think that's one character people just been clamoring for, and I think they would spend a pretty penny for that 1/3 scale or 1-to-1 bust or life size too. So, yeah, the fact that you guys didn't even have that on your list is crazy too, like you just said. So, like, maybe other companies are thinking like that too, like they don't have. I don't know.
Yeah, I think most people go down Alien route. Alien and Predator route first. They go down the character like Alien and Predator. Then they go down the Ripley and the Dutch, and then they go through there. And then it depends on length of contract and all that kind of stuff. So I think the human characters essentially get put last. Yeah, and I don't know why that is.
So, John, for in art, what are the chances for a Predator or Terminator line happening?
Predator might be a little bit harder because it's under Disney's umbrella, and other companies have got that license. Terminator depends on availability. So we should know about that later in the year because it's something that we've asked about but hasn't materialized just yet.
Okay. Because the 1/6 community needs a needs a Terminator line. You know, it's been done in the past like ages ago, but I think it's time to re-up because I'm jealous. The statue community has like a lot of 1/3 Terminator, you know, companies doing it or thinking about doing it, but the 1/6 collectors like me, you know, we're again, we don't want to have to spend that price, or even we don't go that high as far as scale for some of us. So it'd be cool for a 1/6. I think we'd buy it.
Yeah, there's an unlicensed one being released recently. I think unlicensed Terminator, maybe by Mars Toys or something like that. I think waiting for the actual license is better.
Yeah. I'm sure you've heard the term, John. We'll wait for in-art. That's the thing we say a lot. We'll wait for in-art.
I'm not a big figure guy, but you guys have been killing it on their, especially the Lord of the Rings line for in-art. I honestly been killing it. So go on you guys, man. Just wanted to say that.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I saw some of the pieces, you know, a few weeks back, and like the Gandalf, it's unbelievable. Like the detail on those pieces are just awesome. So I know 1/6 collectors are going to be really happy when they get those pieces, you know, in hand. Man, and I got to go back to Dutch talking about how if they made a base of Arnold in the mud holding like all the branches around him and the Predator standing on top of the base. By Queen, see there, you can take that idea and make that.
Yeah, I'll pass that on. That'd be cool.
I think that would look really good, actually. There was a question for a casual. He did say, you know, does Queen plan on selling more products to Sideshow, like it done before with the busts? Do you plan on having that partnership again?
Yeah, with the busts we would do. The other scales, so they're similar to the licenses in a way because they carry so many different brands that they don't want to have two competing brands at the same time. Where we don't work with them, we'll try to work direct to US, and then also we'll look at other options with local partners as well.
Okay.
I remember that bust line you guys did with them sold out like instantly on their
remember.
Pretty cool.
I remember.
Yeah, it did well.
Yeah.
That was good. Here's a question, and I think this is going to come down to how great the movie does, but any plans to do anything with Dune?
Yeah, so we teased,
Nice.
or we showed some early figures. So it's figure-based, though. So we showed some figures in December, I think it was. And we're actually planning Dune very soon because the movie's out and people are expecting to see it again. So it's just waiting on the license's approval. And then once we get the go-ahead, it won't be too long.
We are waiting because the iron's hot. Put the pre-orders out.
That's marketing 101.
Yeah, I've seen the updated version. It looks amazing. It looks really, really good. It's a lot better than the ones we showed earlier.
Okay, that's awesome.
I'm in.
Yeah, that should be really good, actually.
And global license as well, so you can buy it direct from our store, and we'll have a lot of retailers in the US. So we'll have a list of retailers that you can buy from. I think Todd should carry it as well, most likely. So we'll be sharing news in the near future about that.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. I can't wait to see the updates for that. Is Queen planning on releasing anything for Joker 2 when it comes out?
It's in our plan, but I don't know when, because I think right now we're expecting to expand licensing. So maybe April we'll get more news about Southeast Asia and different areas, and then hopefully US later in the year. So we'll get more news around the time, and then we'll wait to see the movie. Hopefully the movie is as good as the first one.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Yeah. John, was there any plans to do anything comic related this year versus movie as far as statue goes by Queen?
Not as many comic pieces. I think we've got a few in the line plan for DC, and it should be towards the end of the year. But nothing at the first half.
Okay.
Hey, John, can I also ask, kind of staying on like kind of comic, do you guys have plans to do any like anime or manga, like maybe movies, like specific movies, like maybe Studio Ghibli or like maybe Akira? Would you guys ever do something like that with figures, or 1/4, 1/3? Have you guys ever thought about that?
So we sort of dipped our hands in or toes in the water with a few anime characters, but to be honest, our audience is more Marvel, DC, classic movies, that kind of thing. It's not as much anime, so it didn't do as well. And I think we'd have to spend a lot more time attracting that audience over to us, and it's just, I don't think it's going to be worth it for us because we want to focus on all the other licenses we've talked about. But
what license was that though for anime? Just I missed it.
Last time we worked on is it Jujutsu Kaisen? I think that's one of them. And then also there was Saint Seiya. We did 3 or 4 statues from Saint Seiya as well.
So what I would do, because I'm kind of like the anime guy on the panels, I would say maybe if you guys did dip into it, maybe do more movie-related anime, like I said, like Akira or maybe Studio Ghibli. That would be cool because that would separate you guys from the other companies at least. And I don't know how well that will sell, but I'm saying maybe that will separate you guys from the other companies with anime at least.
Yeah, something to look into, but I don't know as much about that either, so we'd have to consult people like you to see more about it. And
I don't know anything. I'm just throwing ideas out there. So
yeah, but we probably have to hire. Usually, we hire people that actually really into the movies and the comic books, and we get them to work on the projects with us. So that way, when we're making something, it's not just we're doing it because we can make money. We're doing it because we're hiring people that are interested in the project, and they can work on a licensed project. So for Alien, we worked with a guy from Europe who helped us design the alien bust. We released the Bloodstorm Batman 2 years ago, where we worked with a Japanese artist that specializes in that. So if we worked with anyone for anime, we'd have to go out and recruit some artists as well.
How smart is that? To go to the community and bring them in for ideas and just to go through and to make the best product. So that's really cool. I didn't know that. That's really cool. Johnny did have a question too. He says, since we made the 1-on-1 Phantom Bus, is ever considered doing a Hulk in a similar nature?
We had a plan for that because we released the Hulk in 2019, I believe, like a full silicone Hulk. And then there was talk about us creating a big 1-to-1 Hulk bust, like the Ragnarok version or the Gladiator Hulk. We were looking at that kind of thing, but it never really materialized. So I think if we renew our contracts with Marvel and we can continue to move forward, then it's something we can go back to. But due to the size and everything, we'll probably wait a little bit to see how shipping goes.
Okay. I was asking, how deep will you go with the Lord of the Rings? Not NART, but Queen Studios. The Balrog bow was awesome, and I have to say that was probably the most impressive piece I've ever seen. So it's really good. Oh, go ahead.
There is Lord of the Rings coming very soon, but I don't want to say too much yet because that license in particular, there's a lot of companies going back to it. I think a lot of people are going back to the classics from like the 2000s and the 80s. So it's hot competition. So I don't want to say too much, but you can expect something from Lord of the Rings, not too far away. And same for 1/6. We'll have more 1/6 coming soon as well. Maybe May time, I think, but I'm not sure. It depends.
Because I know you guys teased the was it the rates and Legolas? I think should be soon, right?
Yeah, they're most likely next. But we're working with some other companies that worked on the movies to make sure that we've got the best assets, and it's just waiting for those guys really to help us out, and we can make sure that the final products are like as move accurate as possible.
That's a tough license too, because there's so much Lord of the Rings. Like I feel bad for Lord of the Rings collectors because there's so much out there. So like, if you guys had even more on, that would be like I would feel bad for them even more because that's even more money they're spending. So, but I know you guys would do a good job on it too. So
yeah, but it's like most things. I think people with more choice, you can make sure you're getting the right one as well.
That is so true.
It helps out.
How about anything from Avatar?
Avatar, no, nothing really in the works. We did have a conversation with those guys because the studio's Lightstorm, which is James Cameron's own studio, and we had a meeting with those guys. But at the time, we just didn't have the capacity to keep up with it, and I think someone else is working on that now.
Okay. Jojo was asking, what licenses do you have today?
So today we've got the DC, well, a lot of Warner products. So we've got DC, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones,
Potter.
and then Harry Potter as well. And then for Queen Studios, we had the Harry Potter bus towards the end of last year. We still got the Marvel license right now, and what else? Yeah, again, Lord of the Rings for Queen Studios, DC, that kind of thing. And then we're renewing some contracts. I think Michael Jackson's 6-scale figure shouldn't be too far away either. So that's something new and different.
Whoa.
Okay, I've got to ask, John, do you collect? And what IP do you like to collect?
I'd like to, but the issue we've got here is the space. So the houses in China are tiny. And I've got kids, so they definitely break stuff. So hopefully, if I leave the company or in the future, I'll start collecting if I get a bigger house. I used to collect wine. I used to collect a lot of wine, but the problem is with that, you drink it and then you've lost all your money. So
Yep.
That's fair.
Yeah. But I mean, I think if I did, I'd go down the route of like Bane, Alien, Predator, the 80s stuff as well. Yeah, stuff like action.
Yeah.
I like action.
Yeah. Awesome.
You said Bane?
Yeah, so Bane from DC.
Yeah.
From the Dark Knight.
That's Jimmy's
Huge Bane
Jimmy's
fan.
Yeah.
Huge Bane fan. So,
Yeah.
I would love to see Queen do a 1/3 scale Bane, with his coat on or whatever stuff. So, you're the man, John.
I've been wanting that for ages. I keep asking every year to add Bane. That'd be my first one. I don't know why we've not done it. I have no idea.
I love Tom Hardy. He's one of my favorite actors too. So that'll be
Yeah.
fun.
Is it just other options? Like they go with different options instead, and they just passed on that one?
Yeah, we've done a lot of Dark Knight trilogy, but for some reason Bane's just the last on everyone's list, and I have no idea why. Maybe in China it's not as popular, but I know overseas Tom Hardy is a really popular actor and he's one of the best in my opinion. So I don't know why we've not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have the. Oh, go ahead, Jimmy.
No, go ahead. It's all right.
Oh, sorry. I've got the Queen cat. What do you call it? Catwoman on Batpod coming, the 1/3. Any chance of doing that same Batpod with Christian Bale?
We do get asked about that a lot. I know we've got plans in 1/6 for that in the future. I've seen it written down, but I don't know about 1/3. I'd have to go and check on that.
I got the 1/6, so that's good for me.
The statue, right?
Yes, I have that.
Is it in hand?
It's very nice in hand. I just waiting for one of my display cases so I can put it up, but it's in hand. Yeah, I checked it out. It looks beautiful. You guys did a great job with that.
Wow.
Nice.
I'm supposed to have mine in a couple of weeks, so I'm super anxious.
Nice.
Yeah, the thing with the 1/3 is that the case, because the bat pod's so big, the shipping case is so big. So that's the biggest thing for that. But the tires are rubber as well, and they can roll. Not many people do it, but it does look incredible. I've seen both versions in the office.
I don't know if I'll be able to get that crate through my front door, but we'll give it a shot.
John, I had to unbox the Queen Studios Hulkbuster outside and literally just pull piece by piece into the house until I got it in here. And my wife's like, "Man, you're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna hurt yourself." But I was so excited just getting it all together, whatever. But it was just too big to fit to the door.
Yeah.
John, I know you. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Okay, John. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say those cases, they are cool, but the main thing is it protects it from damage, which is the main thing. If we need to work on that though, because it does push the cost up, but it does really help protect the statues. So that's why we do that.
I know a lot of collectors were, man, what am I going to do with this? Where am I going to put it, or should I discard it? But I personally wanted it because, for one, it completes it, but two, just like you said, it's more about it needs to be protected. It's coming, from China, to here, and that piece is heavy, so you want to make sure it's protected. So yeah,
100%.
yeah. Dennis had a very interesting question, and I'm actually interested in this as well. Any Prey bust or statue? Basically, talking about the new Prey movie, the new Predator.
Yeah, I think that's still under Fox. I know it's on Hulu, right? Because Disney technically owns or is partly involved in Hulu, I think. But we don't have any plans. I think we'd like to, but we want to work on the original first, and then maybe that's something we come to down the line.
Okay.
Speaking of Fox, do you guys have any interest in any primates like Kong or like Godzilla versus Kong or what's the other movie? Planet of the Apes, maybe.
It's something we've looked at. I think Kong, Godzilla would be interesting, but I know Prime One's done a lot of that. And Planet of the Apes would be cool. I think there's a new one coming out, right? A new Planet of the Apes.
Empire or something like that. Like I think it's something like that.
Yeah, we'll see. Right now, it's not in our roadmap for the next year or two, but they're good movies, so maybe it's something we'll come back to.
The silicone and like rooted hair on those pieces look amazing. Honestly, like there's a lot of hair, obviously, but they look really.
Yeah, and Collector Hidden, he was asking, he would like to see a Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman life-size bust.
I would love
Is that possible?
A lot of us would love to see that.
I think if we got the rights to sell direct to USA, we'd do it, because that's where I think most of the biggest audience for that would be US and Europe, because in Asia those movies I don't think are as popular, especially in this country in China, because back in those days there weren't many foreign movies coming in. So I think we'd have to get the US rights, and then we'd look at that.
And it'd be more impressive if you even did the 2-pack battle damage and clean version. Because everybody's been wanting the battle damage too, so you did both. That you, I think, man, that you break the internet.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and John, this is a question just specifically for you. I know we talked about this backstage, but Secret Sanctuary, he was wondering, where you're originally from, and then how did you start working at Queen Studios?
Yeah, so I'm originally from England, and then I moved here when I worked at a company in UK that were going out of business. So I moved here for a year because everyone says, China's going to be the future and there's going to be lots of opportunity. And then I taught English for a year, and my friend taught our CEO English. And then I left to go to get a marketing job. And then when I came back to this city, my friends said, there's this company, they're just starting out, they're looking to hire someone that speaks English and knows about marketing and stuff like that. So it's just coincidence. And then it turns out I live like half a mile from the CEO and the art director. We all live in the same area.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hey, John, not statue related or figure related. Are you a big soccer fan?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, football fan.
Football, yeah.
It's soccer in America though. But are you a big football fan?
Almost everyone in England is. If you're not, it's a bit strange.
What's your team?
But it's my local team's Doncaster. So you probably won't know.
Yeah, I love, as we say, soccer. I love soccer a lot. So.
Yeah.
Big Chelsea fan myself. So.
And Josh was asking too, was there any update on the Marvel 130? I know you talked a little bit about that, but possibly Loki, Spider-Man, or Thanos. That would be cool.
Neither of those three are next.
Okay.
But yeah, more 1-3 coming. I'd say the next one should be in the next 1 or 2 weeks. We're just waiting on the final images to be approved.
Okay, so 1 or 2 weeks, and then they'll be shown.
Yeah.
So make sure you look out for that, everybody. I know Queen Studios will be launching that soon. I didn't want to keep you too long, John. We only got a few more minutes left, but I did want to ask. I know I've heard you talk about this before. Does Queen Studio have their own in-house Iron Man team that just works on Iron Man? Is that not accurate?
Sort of. We've got guys that will work on like I mentioned before, that will work on certain projects. So there's people that'll have expertise in different areas and they'll know a lot more about it. So for Iron Man in particular, we've got people that will just that are really good at sculpting, because it all has to go through 3D sculpts first. So we have a couple of guys that are just really good at that. And Viper, that works for InArt, or the InArt art director, his specialism's rooted hair. So the rooted hair Joker, the 1/3, that's all his work. The Loki 1/4, that's his work. So we've got a lot of specialists in the different areas.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Man, that's awesome. Johnny was asking maybe if you thought about Queen doing a Voldemort bust. That would be really amazing, actually, since they're doing the Harry Potter line.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. I think the problem with the Harry Potter, the higher price point, is that it's not, the audience isn't there. 1/6 is there. 1/6 is a lot bigger, just because it's more affordable, more approachable. But with the busts, I don't think it's as big a market.
Okay. Yeah, and go ahead, Marco.
Oh, I was just saying, this is kind of like really niche stuff right here. Would you guys ever consider doing like a lot of comedy actors, like maybe like Robin Williams or a Jim Carrey, something like that? They're like, obviously, like maybe like a Jim Carrey mask or stuff like that. Yeah, like you guys do it.
Yeah, some of the older movies, they're a little bit challenging to get. So like Mask, it's a little bit harder to get. So we have to go through the licensor, and it takes longer, especially for approvals. Be something we'd be interested in. I think someone's done like Ace Ventura before.
I was just as Ace Ventura. Yeah, that would be cool. Or like, yeah. So.
But that's very US specific. I think Europe, Europe as well, like the UK and different areas like that. Those movies were popular, but it's very US specific. So we need to get US license. I think over here it wouldn't sell well because I don't think it was popular. Jim Carrey's big.
Yeah, he's big.
Outside of China is big.
What about a great Chinese actor and Jackie Chan? He's a great comedic actor in China too.
Yeah, I don't know why. There must be.
Yeah,
but he's popular here. I don't know why not many people have done it. I think a Rush Hour.
Oh my God! Stop.
Rush Hour 6-scale figures would be cool.
I want Drunken Master.
Yes, it would.
I want Rush Hour, Drunken Master 2, and what's it called? I'm blanking out. But those two for sure. Like those are the ones I need from Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Some great questions. Jeff from Secret Sanctuary, he's asking, will Queen Studios make a presence in the U.S. This year? Any conventions?
Hopefully at SDCC. So we went there I went there last year, but we were supposed to show the Terminator bust, but we just couldn't get it ready in time. So that's why we didn't have the bust at the show. And then we're hoping to show the Michael Jackson bust, but we couldn't get it ready in time. This year, we're hoping to take the Dune figure and maybe the Michael Jackson figures as well. And we've got a bit of a head start, so we should be able to go this year. And then hopefully one more collector event in the US like we did a few years ago in Las Vegas. Something that we'll work on. But it's the hardest part is just getting people there and all the samples and everything like that.
Well, John, we need you guys at Comic Cons in the US, because I've told the story a bunch of times, but New York Comic Con, the first time I laid eyes on that Joker was at New York Comic Con when you guys came there with the prototype. And the prototype did not look as good as it does now because you improved it drastically, but it was so like impressed on my heart. I was like, who is this? And I was like, who makes this? And I was with my wife and I wasn't even into statues yet. But that's how much of a presence and it matters that when you companies come to stuff like that, and it just like, because it's one thing to see it on TV, it's another thing to but when people like me see that stuff in person and what you guys do, the rooted hair, the silicone, all that stuff, I think it makes a big difference. It really does. So like we need you back in the US.
Yeah, I was there as well. Because that was me and the CEO.
I think I remember seeing you because I like I said, I didn't know anything about statue companies or anything. I'm just like a casual, just looking around, going to stuff. And because I'm a huge Heath Ledger Joker fan. So when I saw that, that stopped me in my track. And that's when I started looking into statues and companies. So yeah.
I think the East Coast is where we need to go this year if we can. Just the costs. Like SDCC's expensive, but it's worth going. And for us, it's not too bad from China because you fly into like LA and it's maybe a 9-10 hour flight. But for some reason to to East Coast, it's a 15 to 18-hour flight, depending on transfers and that. And then the cost of like Manhattan and the booth and everything is just crazy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if we
I
could
know.
find a way to lower those costs, I think it'd be worth it. But
And
maybe
shipping
next year, if not this.
Yeah, and shipping the pieces is expensive too, obviously too. Like that's another huge cost. And then the booth, I know the booth's obviously expensive too. So I know it's an expensive thing to do, but it does help. Like Freddie said, like his experience. I know a lot of people have experiences just like that too. So
Yeah, it's worth it, but the pandemic disrupted it a little bit.
100%.
And I think we would have had more events in the US if it wasn't for the pandemic. And then last year we just didn't have enough available. Maybe this year's going to be one of those years where it's just going to be a little bit difficult just because of the shipping and everything like that. We've got a lot of stuff to ship, and the shipping costs have gone up a little bit again. So I think if we can't do it this year, it will be next year. But we do want to have at least one major convention and one fan event.
Okay.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. No, that would. Top End Collector was asking, I know we have a few minutes left, but is there potential to do a T1000 bust in the future?
Yeah, we did one a few years ago, and I think our partner in France actually got Robert Patrick to sign his version, and then they shared the photos with us, and he signed some photos for us and sent those to us. So we're big fans of Terminator. So hopefully T1000. That's in our negotiations. So if we can get it done, then just comes down to contracts.
Understood.
I have one quick question. I have to throw it in there for my 1/6 community. So you have the Harry Potter line, which looks incredible, and not many 1/6 companies are doing kids at all, which I'm sure you've heard before. You guys are tackling it, which is great. Ghostbusters, the license, and Afterlife kids. Any possibility of either or, whether it's 1/6 or 1/3?
We've not discussed that, but so
Okay.
the original Ghostbusters would be cool. But what do
I'll
you
take
guys
those,
think of the Afterlife version? What do you think?
It's
I-
not
I
as
Have you
good
seen
as
the
it
movies?
is, but I'm a fan of the original.
Yes, there's a huge Ghostbuster following, and it trickles on to
There is.
Afterlife. So,
Yeah.
because like you see, I have that vehicle, and that's actually a big seller, the Afterlife vehicle as well. So there's a following for that. And again, not many people like do kids in general. So even if it's like one or two or three of even the kids, or even just the core Ghostbusters would be great. So I think anything that touches Ghostbusters, I think would do well.
Yeah, I think Blitzway have done a few Ghostbusters pieces.
Yes, but they lost the license to another company, and let's just say I think we need someone to help tackle that. And like I said, Ghostbusters, like that runs deep in terms of fandom, and I don't think you guys will have a problem like moving that. So it's just something to think about.
Yeah, we'll look into that. Yeah, the kids' bodies things, it is challenging, but we can do it. And it just comes down to, is there demand, especially for figures, because you've got to hit a certain volume to make sure that we're not losing money, because it takes so long to make them.
Because Egon's daughter, sits in that gunner seat, and I don't have her to sit in there. Like, yeah.
I have to say there is a big
Egon's granddaughter, sorry. Yeah.
So, John, I did want to mention also, I mean, we talked about, Predator, right? And how Dutch was missing. Another character that's missing is the Colonial Marines. They have not been done either in like a statue form. And I thought it would look really nice in someone's collection to have the Colonial Marines along with, the aliens in the middle. That's something that's missing. Has Queen ever talked about that, doing something like that?
Not really. The discussion's mostly on, like I mentioned before, making Alien and Predator. I think if we can prove, or if I can find ways to prove to the team that it's worth doing, then they'd look into it. Because I've asked a few times about Ripley bust and 1/3, but for some reason it's not in the plans immediately. They've gone more down the route of the actual like creatures and aliens, that kind of thing first.
Okay.
Well, Ripley holding Newt from Aliens, I'd be in like in 2 seconds.
That would look really good.
Yeah.
Quick question too. I know you said you have like a line kind of planned out for Lord of the Rings outside of InArt? Could you maybe tease at least the scale of the Lord of the Rings? If not, I understand.
Yeah, I can't because it's so much competition around that in particular that if I say something,
Yeah,
I try to get out of here. It's all good. I understand.
yeah.
We just hit that 1 hour mark. John, will you take one more question from the chat?
Yeah, no worries. One was fine.
Okay, one more question here. Mitchell was asking if there's plans to do John Wick. I know we talked about Matrix already, but John Wick would be awesome, I thought too.
John Wick is one that we discussed, and we spoke to a few collectors about that, got a lot of feedback, and I think it was in contract negotiation. So I wasn't involved in that negotiation, so I don't know. And I've had no news on that. So I was hoping we'd do John Wick because I think we could have done great in 1/6 scale, but so far no news.
Okay. Yeah, we just hit that 1 hour mark, guys, and we don't want to keep John. I know he's very busy, and listen, he took time out of his day to come and sit and talk with us and the community about what we love, and he didn't have to do that. So, John, thank you so very much for taking time with us in the community. I know everybody appreciates it very much.
Oh yeah, no thanks so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, thank you, John, again.
All right, this is the easy part. The other part of the job's harder, so I don't mind this.
What you told us tonight, it seems very difficult. And I mean, we knew that to begin with, but it seems even more difficult from what you told us tonight. So
yeah, because I think because we're making cool stuff, everyone thinks it's just like, oh it's always fun. But with most things, it's like the business part side of things and adds to the stress. So,
when you have a new announcement, come here first.
Okay.
It's Deadpool too. If it's Deadpool, also come to us first, and I will fucking do everything for that.
Well, we statue talk every Friday, and we talk about the community. And Queen Studios is high on our radar, especially with all the new pieces you've been teasing lately. The community is very excited to see these next Marvel pieces coming out, especially with. I know Thor's coming. I don't know if he's next, but he looks very promising. And then, I mean, I just love Iron Man. Anything Iron Man, so I'm definitely getting the new one also. So, okay.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, guys, thank you again, John. Thank you for getting on. Thanks to the panel. Thanks to the chat.
Yeah.
Everybody, till next time. I will see you then, and stay godlike. I'll see you next time.